McLemore outside Rondo. Just 5 to shoot. Here's Bellinelli. And once again off the mark by Sacramento. Warriors leading by 3. The Kings were off to a hot start last year, but things certainly fell apart midway. A big factor in that was the messy firing of their coach, Mike Malone.
Yeah, really, that firing came out of nowhere to the fans and the players, and it seemed odd to fire a coach that has been leading his team to good basketball.
Now Curry, following Rudy Gay's three-point attempt. Curry kicks to Green. There's the pick. Back to Curry. There's the three. Sacramento grabs the miss.
And, you know, we'll never really know the full details of why Malone was fired, but the effect it had on the team was easy to see. Kings really tailspinned out of control afterward.
Here's Curry after Rudy Gay's bucket. Puts it up from 15. That's short off the rim.
You're not going to see that very often. Plenty of space, but he just, let's face it, he whiffs on that.
Outside Rondo. Pass to Cousins. Nice move. And that's 2 points on the layup. Cousins has got his second bucket of the game to go.
You know, the Kings, I think, will look back and realize they made a dubious decision the way they handled that coaching change. I mean, lucky for them, they were able to right things, so to speak, by landing George Karl later on. Clearly one of the better coaches in NBA history.
Big group substitution here for Sacramento. Cauley-Stein, he's checked in for Cousins. Caspi comes in for Rudy Gay. Caron Butler's checked in for McLemore. And it's Collison in for Rajon Rondo. And Maurice Spates the bucket on the assist by Barbosa.
Another nice bucket down low. They've really been able to work the ball into the post effectively so far.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see them operating a lot of their offense from the interior today.
That drops.
There's a chance he could have a big game if they don't D him up more tightly on the perimeter.
Golden State's gone 1 of 3 from beyond the arc so far in the game. Livingston kicks to Spates. And the shot is good.
Man, can you always depend on him or what to lead you to the right place with that pass? Money.
The Warriors shooting their first free throw of the game here. They time it right. They can end this quarter with a 2 for 1.
And that's how you want to end the quarter.
Collison the pass to Cauley-Stein. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass.
And that's not nearly the kind of defense that's going to prevent a player of his ability from scoring.
Here is Livingston. He's covered by Collison. Here's Iguodala.
Kings foul.
The Warriors shooting their second and third free throws tonight. And he makes the first. And Iguodala drops them both. 17 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Collison kicks to Caspi. Good, and the assist goes to Collison. Caspi's got 5 now. Guys, 7 times the lead has changed hands here now.
And we still aren't halfway through this contest yet.
Yeah, and that number should easily top double figures before it's over.
And a good game so far as we conclude the first quarter. Kings lead by 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Kings.
Welcome back, folks. We have a close game here at the start of the second quarter of play. And some stats here, guys. The scoring breakdown for the Kings.
Well, I like the fact they've already been getting a lot of high-quality shots in the paint.
And the other thing, though, is their execution in terms of their ball movement has been flawless. Sets up a lot of easy scoring opportunities.
So on the floor for Golden State to begin this second quarter. Iguodala and Green are set at the forward spots. Livingston is out there with Barbosa, and it's Spates in at center.
Well, you know, last season Steve Kerr came into a good situation, but a touch awkward. The team wasn't 100% on board with the firing of the previous coach, but he won them over in a hurry.
Here's Cousins. Lays it up and in on the nice reverse. Cousins has got 6.
They're forcing the ball inside, and it's working beautifully.
It really is. 5 out of 6 of their last field goals have come from the paint.
Greg, Steve Kerr did win over the locker room in a hurry last season. They had finished a successful run under Mark Jackson. Winning accelerates everything. They certainly bought into it.
They really did. And people don't often appreciate how difficult it is to come into a situation where expectations are that high. But he also went out of his way to empower his players and really give them some accountability. Didn't try to hide anyone on defense and played to the strengths of his team on the offensive end.
And the Kings making a change here. Bellinelli's checked in. Different look here for the Warriors. Andrew Bogut, he's checked in for Spates. Barnes comes in for Andre Iguodala. Thompson, he's checked in for Leandro Barbosa. And Steph Curry is subbed in for Sean Livingston. Out of bounds, Golden State takes possession.
That is just a careless turnover. You've got to be smarter in those exchanges.
The Warriors leading. Curry kicks to Green. And we're a little over a minute and a half into the second quarter of action. Nice D from Cousins. The Kings have gone 1 of 3 to start out the second quarter. Rondo against Curry. The drive by Rondo. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there. That's on Andrew Bogut.
No question, he got bumped on that shot.
Yeah, the officials didn't need to talk that one over. It was obvious.
One thing you can say about Rajon Rondo's career, he's come up big in the biggest of games, had 6 steals in the closeout game that gave Boston its 17th championship. Remember that back in 2008 for Coach Doc Rivers?
I really do. And after that Boston win in the series against the Lakers, Phil Jackson called Rondo the star of Game 6. Everyone had always talked about the Big Three in Boston. That year, it was the Big Four.
McLemore dishes to Cousins. And he drops in the layup off the glass. Cousins has got 6 in the quarter.
Both teams trading punches back and forth. This thing's like a heavyweight fight.
The momentum swing, really impossible to keep track of. The energy in the building just keeps going back and forth. Ebbing and flowing. I'm loving it.
Make some noise. Let's hear it for yours.
And for those of you just joining us, we're almost 2.5 minutes into the second quarter.
And, you know, guys, on the topic of Rondo, you look at his playoff career now. I mean, in 2009, he averaged nearly a triple-double in the postseason. I mean, this guy has great instincts, but he has to have the ball to orchestrate the way he's most effective.
Here's Cousins. And that one is stuck right through. Clarkie talked about a back-and-forth game. This is the definition of that.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Kevin. I mean, not even through the first half, and it's been one heck of a battle.
You have to love these kinds of games, scoring-wise, keeping everybody on their toes. And guys, right now, the defense mentally not there. Can't afford too many of those in a close game like this.
Yeah, Jay, you're right. Almost a free run, don't you think? Clark with the hoop for him there.
Momentum can swing on plays like that, Kevin, especially when the finish has that much thunder on it.
Rondo against Curry. Now here's Rondo. He's guarded closely. Curry with some nice D.
And going back to what we were saying, what you hope with Rondo is that he can get back to his full level of confidence. He tore the ACL in 13. He was traded in 14, lost his way a little bit, but he's still young enough to have several really good years in front of him.
To the inside, here's Cousins. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. For DeMarcus Cousins, his numbers have been flat out phenomenal. I mean, just incredible. Sometimes hidden by the lack of what's around him in Sacramento, especially, you know, Greg, when you compare last year's stats with other centers in the NBA.
Yeah, he's averaged nearly 5 points more per game than the next center. Top 3 in rebounding for all centers. This guy is the complete package down low.
The Kings have gone 50% from the floor in the second quarter, 3 of 6. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Ben McLemore. That's his first foul.
Yeah, way to get there first and be willing to absorb the contact.
No question about it. No flop there. That was a direct shot to the chest.
Leandro Barbosa. He's checked in for Thompson. Here's Livingston. Knocks down the 10-footer. Livingston's got the lead up to 3 now for the Warriors. 2 for 1 opportunity here if they want it.
And no doubt, Kevin, if I'm them, I go for it.
29 seconds left in the first half. Cousins, no good.
That's not the type of opportunity he fails to convert very often.
Here is Livingston. He's covered by Rondo. Spates the pass to Livingston. Azili kicks to Barbosa. Dishes to Spates. Great look there, but off target.
You know what? You just cannot get much better of a look than that.
Exactly. I mean, no way you expect him.
And a pretty tightly.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Well, 2 quarters down, 2 to go. Welcome back, Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kenny the Jet Smith as we start breaking it down for you. Golden State found themselves in a close game in the first. The biggest lead of the quarter was only 3 points as they traded baskets back and forth. The second quarter was a strong effort for them as they continued to battle, and they were able to close out the half in a good position. Taking a look at the Warriors, Kenny, what'd you think?
Well, the reserves really came through when they needed a spark. This is a close game. Any points you can get from your bench are huge. I thought the bench guys came in and inserted themselves like they wanted a starting spot. And that's what you want. Subs who are ready to produce the moment they step on the floor.
Shaq, what's your take on Sacramento?
You know, they didn't play it too safe. They made some really nice shots. Those are some.
And that's it for halftime as the second half is just.
And now the start of the second half. Neither side jumping out ahead through the first 2 quarters.
Excellent game we've seen from DeMarcus Cousins. He's got 14 points, and he's managed to get 4 of his points by way of the free throw line.
And Clark, that might not make the highlight reel, but those are important points nonetheless.
Rajon Rondo is out there with Bellinelli. Then it's McLemore. Then there's Rudy Gay. And it's Cousins in at the 5, roaming the paint. So that's the 5 in the game for Sacramento. What a year for the Warriors. Clark won their division for the first time in 39 years, ran away with the very tough Western Conference.
And there were a number of surprises last season, Kevin, but the Warriors were at the top of the list. I mean, I don't think anybody, including you and I, pegged them to be as good as they were.
Especially the way the finals began.
Exactly.
Curry gets the bucket.
They are just killing them on the interior.
Yeah, you can't say that with enough emphasis. I mean, the defenders are just not being aggressive enough down low. You got to play with some physicality in the paint.
Collison kicks to Cousins, and he slams it one-handed.
Right back to the basics there, using the one-hand slam for that one.
Doesn't he make the basics look pretty exceptional?
Yeah, he does. They look sweet when he does them.
And they better stay with those basics because this game is still yet to be determined.
Curry dishes to Green. And if you're just joining us, we played over a minute here in the third. Collison, the pass to Butler. And that misses. That would have put him up.
And the Warriors won 51 games back in 2014, improved that mark by 16 wins last season. Among teams that won at least 50 games in the previous year, that 16-game improvement was an NBA record for the Warriors.
Collison kicks to Cousins. Count the basket and the foul. That's on Andrew Bogut.
No matter what they've tried, the D just has not been able to deny them the ball in the paint.
And it's a big key thus far in this game, Clark, because whenever they've gotten the ball in the paint, good things have happened.
Here's what Sacramento's going with right now. Rudy Gay's checked in for Butler. Then McLemore comes in for Marco Bellinelli. Rajon Rondo is subbed in for Darren Collison. McLemore dishes to Cousins. For the lead. And it's good on the way. Cousins has got 9 points now in just the second half.
It goes without saying the Warriors set franchise records all over the place with their play. Their win total being the highest ever, but also of note was it was the first time they've won 50 games in back-to-back seasons. They seem